Hi everyone, my name is Nina Melendez. I'm the Virtual Content Specialist for Mathematics for Multilingual Learners and English Language Learners for Math grade 9 to 12. Today we are going to be looking at our Algebra 1 lesson, day 5 through 9. And this lesson and resources are going to focus on key vocab words and concepts that have to do with inverse operations, square root versus square rooting, exponent, parentheses, zero product property, the word explain, and the word analyze. So these are concepts that throughout these lessons you're going to see, but I will give resources specifically for lessons 5, 6, and for lesson number 8. So this unit covers for days 5 through 9, we have squares and equations, solving quadratic equations by reasoning, equations and their zeros, solving quadratic equations with the zero product property, and steps in solving quadratic equations. The resources I'm going to give will be very usable for day 5. You could also use it for day 6 and for day 8. But you can feel free to modify however works best for you and use whatever you would like from those resources. So at the beginning of every lesson, you have the instructions and the guidance. So in slides 10 and 11, you usually have the implementation guidance for multilingual learners. So I have put this all into a single slide where you have the implementation for days 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So key things in day 5 and 6, it says -2/5 to second power. So stressing the language. What does it mean for something to be to second power? Making that connection between powers and exponents. Modeling also examples from these lessons so that the students feel comfortable, and also modeling how to use the language during the lesson and how to use content-specific words. This goes the same for day 7, a lot of modeling and academic language needed. Now, for day 8, I highlighted comparing and contrasting. So give your students the opportunity to compare and contrast their work, be it through Pear Deck, be it through a Padlet. I always like Padlet because I think it's a fun way where they can actually like compare and contrast and share their work and make comments on each other's work. But you could also use just the Google Slides and assign it as an assignment. So this is a good lesson to compare and contrast their work. Now, in day 9, it says explicitly model content-specific academic vocabulary. What does it mean to be equivalent? So the word equivalent might sound the same and also in different languages, so it might be a good connection that they have just because of the prefix of equi, okay, meaning equal. Okay, like I teach Spanish, equivalent is equivalente. The word sounds very similar, so it's easy to transfer. Not all of our students might have this easy transition, but getting them accustomed to these words will help them with their vocabulary. Now, for the resources. In this lesson, the resources I provided specifically for lesson 5, 6, and lesson 8. So here is key vocab words that the students are going to need. So this is day 5. You could also use it in day 6, or you could use it throughout actually this whole week. But you know, the inverse operations and looking into squaring versus square rooting, that's something that they're going to have to know and have make conscious decisions and understand the difference language-wise. You say something squared or what's the square root, so that they are able to make that distinction. Now for this lesson, I actually changed it a little because it says below are some equations and the list of numbers. So I made the type a little bit bigger, and the way I organized it in the coming slides is to give them more space. So if they're doing a Pear Deck, they have space to write. and they have space to show their work. So I would actually only put like 2 or 3 per slide where they can show their work and they can select from the choices above. Now, for day 8, for day 8. For day 8 are the key vocab words. Have students review going from standard form to factored form, having them look over what the zero product property is. What does the word explain and analyze mean in the context of this lesson? And giving them an example of how the zero product property is applied. Now, also making that connection to previous units of having the graph and how they already knew how to find these solutions. So moving through this lesson, they're going to have to analyze the equations. So I've highlighted the analyzing, they're going to do it in the blue portion. The equations are here in pink. That way they know specifically what we are talking about. Additionally, for this lesson, it says, for each equation, find its solution or solutions, explain your reasoning. Now, the way that this is organized, our multilingual learners might need a little bit more space because remember, they're acquiring language. They sometimes want to express more. So the way I reorganize this is in the coming slide, and you will have all these resources where I gave them more space, put less per slide, and chunked it out. So they put the solutions here with their explanations. You can adjust this. The solutions can be a little bit smaller, the explanation can be a little bit larger, but in this way, the students are able to organize their work and have a logical transition of understanding. And it goes from here to applying the zero product property. And then this is a good scaffold for then doing then this type of problem in the end, standalone by itself. And like I said, this is a good problem that if the students feel comfortable, this is a good problem they can screenshot and share to compare and contrast their work. I hope all of this is helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.